Morning all, welcome to the latest from the desk video. Today I just wanted to stop and talk a little bit about what we're seeing in the local housing market. A lot of people and a lot of our clients own their own home. They've got and investment properties as well, and potentially even looking at selling investment properties, buying investment properties all the time. And so the residential property market is always an interesting point of discussion. Probably a couple of key things are starting to happen now, which I just wanted to touch on. Firstly, last week, the Reserve Bank and in conjunction with APRA have announced that they are going to change the way they assess loans. And this is something that I've always said that will happen. It won't be, they won't change interest rates per se. And I think interest rates are still going to be very low for a very, very long period of time. Because I think that that's too much of a risk to causing a bit of a meltdown in the housing market. But what they'll start to do, and they've announced they'll do, is restrict supply of money. And so the supply of money, they can do this effectively by three mechanisms, which I've announced. They'll do it via assessing your debt to income ratio at a different level. So your total debt versus whatever your assessed salary is. They'll just squeeze that ratio up. The loan to value ratio, the LVR, the debt that you're taking out versus the value of your assets or the house that it's being used against. I think they're going to make that rule just a little bit tighter. And the last thing they're doing is they've announced that they stress test your loan. So if interest rates go back up to a certain level, they say, well, can this borrower cope? And they've also reassessed that. I think they've changed that and moved that back up to saying that they've assumed if interest rates move back up to 5% from a borrowing rate at the moment of 2.5%, so effectively double, what would that do to the client's position? So those three things have definitely moved in the last week. I think they'll make some exceptions, particularly with people buying to buy their own home, the principal place of residence, but they're trying to slow down the investment and speculative buying that's been going on in the home market. The other thing that I just want to touch on today that's definitely driving the house market in the short term has still been, it's not population growth per se, because in Australia we've had nearly a net zero population movement in the last 18 months with COVID. But what's causing the demand is probably two things. One is there's a huge amount of percentage shift to single occupier homes. So people just on their own through whether it be divorce or the family unit splitting up with kids and so on. The level of single occupier homes has gone through the roof. So everyone's spreading out. Second factor is just that probably apartment living is on the nose a bit at the moment for obvious reasons with COVID. So that's drawing the demand that would have been drawn into the CBD for apartments or certain areas is not going there now. So it's staying in the CBD, it's staying in the suburb areas. And the last thing that's definitely happening is that people are now assuming that maybe COVID's going to be around for 1, 3, 5, 10 years. And a lot of people just either A, don't want to get vaccinated, or two, just don't want to catch it, which I understand. And therefore they're taking precautionary measures to lead a lifestyle that's not in the middle of Sydney or not in the middle of Melbourne. And they might say, well, the Adelaide Hills suits me fine because I'm lowering my risk levels. I can still do my job and I can lead a lifestyle that I'm happy with. So I think those things are still happening, and that's still causing a fair bit of demand in certain areas for certain housing. So it will be an interesting outlook, and I just thought I'd outline what's definitely changed there. It's not going to be interest rates, it's going to be the supply of money that's going to get a lot harder. Thanks.